All right, guys, welcome back. We got the 07 in here today. We are getting into it, prepping. We have noticed through an inspection on it that our trans cooler is leaking. Some tranny lines are leaking. And yeah, there's a headlight problem. This headlight right here, both of those lights are on, the low beam and the high beam. Well, just the low beams are on, so we got some wiring issues there I'll figure out. And we got a pinion seal leak in the rear diff. It's just weeping, but over 7,000 kilometers, I feel like it could start leaking and I don't want to do that, so I'll just deal with it now. And yeah, we are going to also remove this plastic off the door handles. We're going to be tinting the windows and just an overall inspection of the truck. It's last thing I want is to be somewhere in the States and be stranded because I overlooked something that I could have easily took the time and dealt with. So that's what I'm doing for the next couple of days here while I wait for the sport to be finished. And yeah, getting into it now though, we're gonna get to that trans cooler. Just first and foremost, because it is obviously one of the most important things of the whole trip. Keep that 48 nice and cool. And yeah, I'm gonna be taking all this apart. I keep you guys updated as I go through. Also be taking the headlights out here just to get to the intercooler boots nicely, and we'll be digging into this problem. I believe it's the resistor. I have new ones for it. And yeah, those resistors that are in there are only a year old, but clearly I think that's the problem. And we'll just deal with that then. Anyways, follow along, guys. Okay, so as we're going through this 07, I have the new lines in there and the new cooler. Now the new cooler, I mean the lines themselves were a pain in the butt to make. I do suggest just buying a line kit. I didn't have the time to wait for a line kit, but from Power Driven or Full Send Diesel, all those guys, they sell a line kit for these 03 to 07 trucks that have the 48, and probably best to do that instead of, I don't know. Anyways, I'll show you guys. So I got from the cooler, coming down and around to the cooler. So that's your heat exchanger, that's your trans cooler. So you have a line that goes to that, and you have a line that goes from there to the trans, and then one from the trans all the way to there. So one to the trans all the way to the cooler, I've already replaced. So I got a new one from here to the exchanger, and then from the exchanger down to the trans. I had to cut this a couple times to get them to recrimp a couple new fittings on, just because of the angle that's at, but it all looks good for now. I mean, if you got an aftermarket kit, I think you'd be so much better off. It would look better too. I have faith in those, and they're not going to go anywhere and do anything and leak, but I'll show you guys underneath the trans, underneath the truck here. So it's a little bit messy. We got that one, I resealed it, hoping that it doesn't leak. It was leaking out of here, where that tape is. So then I got this one in the trans there, and it runs up to the heat exchanger right there. So they're not the perfect length, which is what that's what you would get from the kit if you buy it. So you'd get the exact length and everything. Anyways, like I said, time is of the essence for this job, and I know this is going to be a lot better than the factory lines that you get. And them being metal and pre-bent, those lines are a pain in the butt to put in. I've had to take off my whole side fender to go from the front cooler all the way to the trans, because that metal line is all bent. If you kink it once, you just get it done. It's no good. So anyways, I'm just putting this back together. I actually had a problem with it itself. This was kinked like that. I had to put it in the vise and straighten it out to get that bolt. There wasn't enough, so I did that on both sides. It is what it is, and it works. This line needs to be bent up a bit. And I wish I could go with a Mishimoto trans cooler, but I guess another thing, it's something I just noticed, and going down to UCC, I can't risk having a trans cooler failure. So this will work, and from here we'll test headlights. I know one of my resistors is bad. I checked from that headlight to this headlight, and it is for sure that. So have a new set of those, and yeah. We'll get the lights back in, this all buttoned up, and then we'll be on to some other maintenance things. Okay, so the front clip's back together. The headlights do work again. It was the resistors, which I did figure because when I took the far resistor and put it back in here, it worked. So new resistors, headlights work as they should. And now I'm just going to throw some trans fluid in her, throw her in neutral, top it up, and then from there we'll just keep doing maintenance. It is getting late here. Might call her a day, but also the black sport is probably done tomorrow. So the more I get done on this with the garage empty, the better, because the second that sport's done, it's going straight from polish straight to here, and it is a mad dash to detail the undercarriage, detail the engine bay, and just to get photos of it for just the old things, and then just to get every last minute thing done before we head out on Monday. And yeah, I'm pumped. I'm excited to put in some long nights and hours just to get it all done and to feel prepped and ready to go, but I just need the time in the shop right now to just hammer things out. So I'll be here probably for another couple hours, but well, that first fire didn't go very well. That line wasn't tight enough, I guess. Okay guys, back in the shop tonight, and last I left off with the tranny line was leaking and the headlights were done, and I shortly figured out that the headlights weren't done. With the truck running for about 10-15 minutes, the driver's side headlight just turned off. And anyways, Alpha X reached out to my story that I posted, and they actually sent me the diagram that I needed to fix it. And resistors are a no-go. You do not need those. They say they can wreck the BCM is what they called it. And anyways, very glad that I did not wreck my BCM. Both headlights work now, and I will show you guys quickly what I did to fix mine, and it's for an 06 to 09 trucks with these headlights. Okay, so the back of the headlight, this is the low beam, this is the high beam. The high beam, you take this off, and you'll see 2 wires down here, well 4 actually, but 2 different plugs. They both look like that. So you disconnect one on each headlight, and then turn your lights on and check. If it's not that one, you switch it and do the other wire. That is what worked for me. It just makes it so when your high beams come on, your low beams aren't still on. So it cuts your low beams, turns your high beams on, and then when you go back to low beam, it cuts your high beams and goes to low beam. So it's too much for the truck to handle when the high beam is on with the low beam on. So anyways, the lights are fixed. I've also completely re-aimed them on the wall here, so they actually look aimed properly. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this back together, and I'm probably honestly gonna take it for a drive here, make sure all the tranny lines and everything just is right, get the trans temp up so I can check the fluid properly, and then just keep chugging along on the big list of things to do. So anyways, just want to give you an update. It was not the resistors. Do not put these with Alpha X. They do not require them unless you maybe have like the LED bulbs for the headlight itself. But best off is just to talk to them, because they sure do know their headlights very well, and what works and what doesn't work, what headlight brands work, what headlight brands don't work. And at the end of the day, these are not cheap headlights. And these aren't even the most expensive ones from their brand of headlights. So it's just I don't know, make sure you know what you're doing before you might wreck $1,000 headlights. Anyways, that's your info. Hey guys, I had an unexpected upgrade to the truck. Now I can go through it quickly here. I had a K&N cold air intake like filter, like a performance filter or whatever. They go in the stock box. Yeah, I didn't like it. It put too much dirt into the intake pipe and stuff. So I ended up throwing it out and putting in a stock filter. And I noticed about 200 degrees more in my EGTs. It was sluggish. It was just not good. Like, I'm being dead honest. It is on its hottest tune on a Smarty Junior. And I honestly, with this big intercooler, I could not keep my EGTs under 1,000 just pulling its own weight. So I ended up looking at the filter, like the air filter gauge, and it was tapped out. And you know, it must have been starving for air. So I pulled the trigger on an S&B cold air intake. I ripped to Dirty Diesel Customs in Kelowna. They're about an hour and so away from me today, and I grabbed this bad boy because I did not have time to wait. It is in, but check this filter out. It has about 2,000 K on it. It is like brand new, and I honestly am not joking, you guys. I could not keep under 1,000 like EGTs, just climbing just your average grade. So I thought, like, honestly, if I didn't buy this cold air intake, I probably would have spent about $400 more in fuel, probably $500-600 more in fuel round trip, than if I just went and bought a cold air intake and spent the $400-500 on the intake and got a part out of the deal. So yeah, it's just gonna help me while I tow there, and it's just, I don't know, something I've noticed. I drive the truck enough. I noticed the littlest things. You drive the same grades every day, and pretty much the same weight. You come to know your truck very, very well, and you notice slightest little upgrades and everything. So it's kind of cool to be that in tune with the truck and knowing everything that is going on. I know it's down to, if you get an injector that has a misfire and stuff, like, you will know absolutely instantly that that trucker's not running right, because it's just not. And it's kind of cool. But anyways, that thing is just garbage now, pretty much. And yeah, this bad boy is in here. It was quite an easy install. I don't know, it's just a piece of plastic you put in your engine bay, really. That's all it is. I'm gonna go take it for a test drive. All right, guys. So I tried to do tinting, and myself at least, and man, what a disaster that was. Took me about 10 hours, and I probably cost myself more in tint alone than I would have just had a shop getting it tinted. So that's kind of embarrassing, but it's a learning curve. No shop was able to fit me in time, and just live and learn, I guess. But it is done. The whole truck's detailed. I swapped the tires around. I repolished everything. This truck is in tip-top shape as far as I know. And this is what she looks like. Freshly polished wheels again. Oof. The tint, now it looks good, right? I spent enough time, got it somewhat okay. But yeah, probably the best Dale 7s ever was, for sure. It's so dirty still too. Tailgate's back on it. Like, tailgate's filthy. Needs a good old wash. Yeah, I'm pumped. Also, I took all the old man before me had the chrome on the door handles and all the latches and stuff. I took all those off, and yeah, here she is. Onto the trailer next. We are doing, we pulled the tires off, doing wheel bearings, well, at least checking them. Check the bearings for play. We'll check the brakes, and just make sure everything's working like it should. I'll jack it up, spin each wheel, make sure when I pull the cord that they all lock, and the battery's in good shape. And then I'll just pull the hubcaps off and repack the bearings, as long as the brakes are all in good shape. And yeah, that's not too much, but just want to make sure that the underside of that trailer is ready to go for the trip. And I'm gonna take the chains and everything out of this front bin, and I turn that into just strap storage and stuff for now. I don't use chains anymore. I love my straps, and they've never failed me. So yeah, I'm gonna take the chains out of there and just clean this thing up a bit. Needs a little bit of love. Maybe like repolish the wheels. Probably gonna get some new center caps. Those ones are starting to rust, kind of look jinsy and gross, so get some new those. But I think this wheel is pretty good. These are factory Alcoas from a 2003 Super Duty van, and they're in great shape. The van had 130 on it, I think, so they never really seen much for use, but I am gonna get them polished eventually, but they're in good shape. And yeah, just a little update on how the prep's going and stuff. And guys, 6 days and I'll be on my way down. I'm excited. I'm pumped to go see it for the first time. Man, it's just something I've always wanted to do. And every year I'm glued to the phone that weekend, just trying to see updates of people that I follow and just how people can push the limits in the diesel industry. And anyways, I'm excited, and I will keep you guys updated as I go. Okay, so I went through the trailer. It's in great shape. Took all the chains out of here. I never use them anymore. Ever since I went to the straps, I just never use chains. They're just so messy and clunky and everything. So empty that box out, and obviously the straps can be used for the truck, but I made this little bin, and then I'll obviously put that little block in there with some other straps for the ride down there, just to make sure. But yeah, I don't know if you guys use Hot Shots or whatever you use, but you guys know that stuff leaks everywhere. It's honestly probably the worst. I don't know, they need to come up with a better bottle, but I usually keep it in the back of my truck in like a milk crate. But it still makes a mess back there. It just seems to leak, and if you have it in the cab, your cab just smells like crap. So for this trip, I'm gonna put it there. It's easy enough to grab when you go to fuel up. Just open that little compartment. So I'm gonna put that there, and yeah, let's go look back there and see what we got going on. Look at that. So we got rid of the rusty chrome caps that went in there, and these cover the lug nuts as well. So I'm pretty pumped. Looks super clean. Man, this is gonna be a styling unit for sure. But I checked the bearings, checked the brakes. Brakes all locked up, all seemed adjusted properly. They have the self-adjustment brakes in this trailer, so that's kind of nice. As long as you keep that adjuster lubed up, you'll be good. Tire pressures are all good, and yeah, it's all been re-greased. There's only one bearing that was a little loose than the others, but when you tighten it up to the next hole, it was too tight, so that's just the way she is. And they all been re-greased. This thing's ready to go for another year, and hopefully this trip. So it's a lot of moving parts, trying to cross my T's and dot my I's as much as I can. I'm not going to say it's going to be a perfect trip. I guarantee you there's going to be one or two flaws that go about it, and just hoping for no major breakdowns. That's the biggest thing, like a wheel falling off because you didn't increase your bearing. Those are the things that can be looked at, and some people can overlook them if you're not doing your due diligence. So anyways, trailer is good to go. I'm ready to get this thing out of here, pull the truck back in for the night, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on this prep as much as I can. Truck, I think, comes back Thursday. Man, they're doing every square inch, so it's just a matter of time. It'll be back, but he's been collecting a lot of dust. The amount of dust that's on there. So it's time to get those and everything back together for the trip. So I will keep you guys updated as I go. I'll probably show you guys videos of me picking up the truck. I think I'll just make this all one prep video just to make it easier for myself, and see what it takes for a trip like this. In my eyes, at least, I feel like maybe I didn't need to do as much as I have, but I'll just worry about it and stress about it if I don't. So it's kind of the way it is, the way I am, and hopefully maybe you guys can utilize some of that into whatever trips you guys go on in the future. So anyways, I'm done for tonight. I'm done. I feel like I'm coming down with something. I need some sleep. These late nights have been getting to me. So I'll keep you guys up to the next one. Okay guys, I'm just gonna end that video there. I feel like the sport deserves its own video just for the prep and just pick up. It's right in front of me. So you guys go watch the next video. Stay tuned. It looked unreal. I expected it to look like this, obviously, because it's very low K, but the yeah, anyways, I'll update you guys all in another video. It's turned out amazing. You guys are not gonna want to miss it. I hands down guarantee. So if you guys like this, like, subscribe, comment down below how you guys think the trip's gonna make out and the show itself. I'm excited, I'm pumped, and let's go do it. So I'll talk to you guys next video. Peace.